Welcome back to my channel. I'm about to go work out, but I was just talking with one of my friends about a very relevant topic to do with working out and health and Catholics or Christians as a whole. And this might sound controversial, even though I don't mean anything bad by this. I told her a long time ago when I started going to, especially very traditional Catholic churches, I was like, wow, I rarely see people who are obese at these very traditional churches. And I 100% think that is because the people in these churches are the most devoted to God. They practice the most tradition when it comes to Catholicism. There's a lot of self-denial. There's a lot of fasting. There's a lot of penance. There's a lot of dependence on God. And the people in traditional churches typically are following the Catholic teachings by the book. Of course, everyone slips up. I think the number one thing is the stability and order that the Catholic Church gives you pretty much makes you immune to overeating, gluttony. Gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. Being unhealthy, not taking care of yourself. You have to, as a devoted Catholic, we know it's not just staying out of sin, but it's also doing whatever we can to serve God, to take care of the body that He gave us, to practice fasting. There are many times during the year, during Lent, during the week, on Fridays. Traditional Catholics typically fast from meat every single Friday. All Catholics fast from meat on Fridays during Lent. I usually try to fast all day on Fridays. Since I've become a traditional Catholic, I've done the most fasting I have ever done. I specifically don't need to lose weight, but fasting is still so good for your body. It kills off the bad cells in your body. It's an absolute gift from God. And it helps us practice self-denial and discipline. And we can offer up our hunger or suffering. I don't know if I even want to call it suffering, but we can offer up our hunger to the Lord and for the good of others. There's also a concept called redemptive suffering, and it means if you are suffering, again, I don't want to associate us fasting with real suffering, but it can be very hard, especially when you do the 3 or 7 day fasts. We can put our hunger and pain aside, and we can offer it up for the good of others, for the conversion of others, for the healing of others, for the souls in purgatory, anything we want to offer it up for in prayer. But back to the concept of Christians and specifically traditional Catholics being a lot healthier than the general public. Ultimately, as Catholics, our goal is to get to heaven. Our goal is to spend eternity with Jesus, and this life on earth is very short in compared to that. But we still do have a life He has given us on earth. And again, I was talking with my friend last night, and I was like, sometimes it's so hard because I'm working on I don't know, if I'm working on my business, or I'm working on these big goals I have, and I'm like, it really doesn't matter. All I really care about is spending eternity with Christ. But she's like, yeah, but He gave you this life. And what if what you're doing is supposed to help others? It's supposed to sanctify your own soul. It's supposed to get us ready for heaven. We are supposed to try to become saints on earth. So unfortunately, we can't just, fast track to heaven. We need to do everything we can to maintain our salvation. And yeah, I'm gonna make a longer video on each specific point I have on why I think traditional Catholics or very devoted Catholics, and maybe just Christians as a whole, are healthier. You don't see as many of them overweight, and they have higher self-discipline and care for their body. But let me know in this video, have you noticed this as well? If you go to a different denomination of church, do you notice the same trend? And if you have any other similar comments to this topic, let me know and I will address them in the next video. God bless and have a great day.